Alright guys, welcome back for another Roblox video. It has been a long time, like a long time, as you can see in that timestamp since I've made a video. Alright, so getting away from that, the sadness of me not uploading like at all and everything, Halloween review time, because the update has been out for a few days and I've had my thoughts collected and experiences already in it, and I just want to kind of review the update and whatnot. So let's get to me claiming the items and kind of reviewing them. We'll start with the tiers and then we'll go to the box. So we have the effect that pretty much everyone can get because it's free right at the start, is the new ghosts effect. It looks good. I think it's not as, like, I don't know, that we have a lot of different ghost effects. Like there's a ghostify that used to make people turn into ghosts back in the day. It was really cool. Now it doesn't do that anymore because it's an old effect, and MM2 is getting old. So then you have this ghost effect, which is maybe the best one. I don't really have an opinion on what one is the best, really. But now we have another one, and this one's pretty cool. I would recommend the knife that you should get that goes with it the most. Oh, that's why I wasn't getting ghosts. I was in the holiday section. I'm like, what? Is the Ghosty from 2016. The reason why is I feel like this effect is made for it. Maybe it might not be. It's mostly because the scared face here that you can see, and then also the blushing cheek kind of effect there. And the ghosts also have that as well. None of the other ghost effects fit this one quite as well as this new one, and it doesn't really, I mean, it also fits this one because it's meant to fit this one because that's the ghosts are on here. So we got the Vines knife here. It looks pretty cool. I think it could be better if like the whole knife was black rather than just having like a random rectangle box that's black there that kind of just cuts off. It just looks kind of weird in my opinion. Otherwise, I think the Vines look to it looks really good. We also got the Vines gun from the box that you can get. Kind of same problem with it, except it's not as bad as the knife because the knife is like more, like, it's more flat and you can see it, whereas this one kind of fits better where it's like the, like, there where the barrel's gray. It just looks better with the gun only having it black, but I think it would work better if the whole thing was black, but that's just my opinion. But the set I think is okay. It's not terrible. The pumpkin gun. The pumpkin gun is the only one of the, or not the only, but it's one of the few guns or knife in the pack that, or in this update that doesn't have a knife counterpart. So it doesn't, it's not a set. However, if you want to have it have a set, you can have the pumpkin knife from, I think it's 2019, 2018, 2020. I don't know, I can't remember. I wish they could kept like when it, you know, like how it says for some of these effects like 2023. I don't know why they got rid of that from the knives. I like that, but it looks kind of okay with this knife. You could also have it maybe with like the uncommon pumpkin. In fact, actually I think that looks better. Up to you really. All right, so now we have the candy effect. The candy effect looks, you know, like pretty much any other candy effect that we've had before. Like here's the 2022 one. Do I have any other ones? No. But there are other ones, and it's pretty much the same thing, except it's just the candy colors of this year, the yellow, orange, and red ones. Basically, looks good on pretty much any Halloween item that you put it on. Okay, and then we have the etched. And this knife is kind of interesting because it's got like a carved skull, and then, you know, the cross 5 and everything like that, like the, what are those called again? Like it's where you know, cross out, which is a total of 5 there. It looks good. Again, this one though, it's kind of similar to the pumpkin gun. It does not have a counterpart knife to go along with this set, so it's really just a random one. I don't know what gun could go with it, but I guess we can maybe take a look for that right now. I think I actually have an idea. Actually, hang on. The Rip. Yes, the Rip one, because the Rip doesn't have a counterpart knife, and it has like, you know, kind of like a similar kind of vibe with it, if you get what I mean there. I think that could go as like a good set there. Okay, and now we have the zombie, which in my opinion looks pretty good. However, the name I feel like should be called Frankenstein. I mean, we don't have a Frankenstein knife or anything like that, as you can see. And I think it would have been kind of more cool to have a Frankenstein one because, as you can see, we have like a lot of zombie ones. And two, it's got like stitching on it, as you can see here. And it just looks more like a Frankenstein than a zombie, in my opinion. It should have been called Frankenstein. But again, not a big deal. It looks good. Another one, though, that does not have a counterpart for it, that's a knife, so that's interesting. However, there are so many other different zombie guns. Actually, there's only two. This one looks good with it. The other one doesn't really look as good with it. I would say probably you want to go with this one if you want to have a matching set. Other than that, though, it's not bad. Though I think it should have been called Frankenstein, if anything, but we won't complain too much about that. Okay, so now we have the steel set. We got the gun here. It looks quite cool, I think. It's definitely a very almost simple but interesting design. It's just all steel. It looks cool, I would say. Okay, so here is the glowy effect. It looks really, really good. I definitely think it's one of the best Halloween effects that we've gotten in a while. It's just very unique compared to most Halloween effects, and I just think it's very nice. The only unfortunate problem for me is I don't have the glowy knife, so I can't have the set combo go together, unfortunately. I've been trying to get it, I just don't have it. But I have seen it, and it looks very good, and you've probably seen it too. And maybe you even have this set, so I don't know. It definitely would look really good with it. It pretty much looks good with, like, any chroma that you put with it. Like, it's definitely a very interesting one that if you do that, like, you know. Let's actually get the bone blade. It's the only chroma that I have for Halloween, and it looks good with that. And basically any chroma. Okay, next we have Meltdown. It's a really interesting knife. The only problem with it, though, is it doesn't have a counterpart in the box or in the tiers or anything like that. So it's a solo knife, and there's not really like a knife that can go with it. Okay, so next up we have the Ghastly set. The knife looks really cool, so does the gun. The one problem with this set is the set doesn't really match very well. Like the gun's much darker than the knife. Like the items themselves look really good. They just don't really match, and that's the only problem with them. Other than that, they look really good. Yeah. Okay, so now we got the dark knife and the dark gun, right? Yeah, that's what they're called. Okay. So this looks really good. I definitely really like this design. It's honestly, I think it should have been the legendary, but I'm fine with it being a rare. You also got like the gun, which looks really good. It looks almost kind of like the Predator, almost. Yeah, it kind of gives me a little bit of that vibe of the Predator. Whatnot. It's a little brighter than the Predator, but that's because I think, you know, there's shading on it, where the Predator doesn't really have that, because this is what the newer knives are looking like. They're more like, you know, you got the shading, you got the lighting, they just look more clean, basically. So that's why. Okay, so next up we got the Traveler set, which comes with an effect, as you can see. And you got the knife here. It's definitely a really good set. I know I said the dark set should have been the legendary, but honestly, this one's also a worthy legendary set. It looks really good as well. Honestly, if the Dark Knight, the only other set that could have been a legendary is the dark set, but I'm happy that this is the legendary because it comes with an effect and it's really cool. The effect is Traveler's Flame, and then this is what it looks like without the effect. Of course, I don't have the axe yet, but that's what it looks like. It looks really good. Of course, you can also pair that with the Traveler's Flame, and it will look even better. But again, I don't have the axe, so otherwise it looks really good. Okay, so now here's the bundle, and I'm going to put that on. However, I do have the Godly Pack. As you can see, actually, we should probably go inside so you can see the effect better. Okay, now that we're inside, you can see the effect much better. It's just because of the night sky kind of blends in. You know, black on black, you can't really see it. But anyways, the effect looks really good with this knife. The knife overall looks really, really good as well as the gun. I definitely think this is a really good Halloween Godly set. In fact, it might be my favorite. It just looks really good. And of course, I've been wanting a black effect like this as like a substitute for the effect that I missed when the Night Blade was out on sale. The Dark Fire effect that I didn't get, even though that was out on sale for 2 years. But, however, I got this as a substitute, and I'm happy with it. It looks really good. I definitely really like this set a lot. Okay, so now we have that weird transition where we're going to go through the stuff that we missed in the box. This wood knife, it looks pretty good. I don't really know what to rate it, but it's definitely a really nice knife. I really like the wood textures on it and kind of like the little detail on the handle that you have there. It's a really nice looking knife. Now again, like a lot of the problems with a lot of these knives and guns in this Halloween update is they don't have a counterpart that can go with them, or that doesn't come with them, but you might be able to find something that can go with the wood. I'm just looking right now to see if I can find anything in the update that might be able to. Okay, so the closest thing I found was the wooden gun. It's not even the same color wood color, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Maybe like a brown gun or something, like maybe the pirate or something like that could go with it. Not really. I don't know. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I got to review the other knives still. Okay, next up we got the leaves knife, which honestly is probably my favorite common from the box. It's just, or probably from the event entirely. It just looks really nice. I really like the look of it. Because all the other commons kind of have their own little problems that I will nitpick at them, and they just don't seem like they have as much detail as the, well, okay, not as much detail, that's an understatement, because it's really just like a few leaves put on. I don't know, it just looks the prettiest. It really looks nice, and it feels like you could wear it as like when it's fall time or something instead of just specifically as a Halloween item. It doesn't, again, come with a counterpart gun. However, as soon as I saw it, I knew it would go immediately with the fall camo, and of course it does. And I definitely like this set as well. So if you have the fall camo and you have the leaves, wear them as a set if you want to. Alright, and then we have the Eclipse. The Eclipse knife is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of, you know, obviously it's an eclipse where the moon, if you don't know what that is, it's where the moon goes in front of the sun and creates like this look here that is happening there. It looks cool, I would say. Again, it doesn't have a counterpart gun, so let's look for that. Okay, so I couldn't find a counterpart gun, but I feel like any black gun could probably go with this because of how dark the handle is. So pretty much, you know, Predator, the dark gun, will probably go with that. All right, and then you have the spider knife, which honestly is my least favorite because it's literally so like lazily put together. It's just the default knife with a spider on it. That's the only difference with it. Yes, the spider looks really cool, but I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. Otherwise, it's my least favorite knife of the event because it's just super lazy. It's just, it's like basically putting the bare minimum together. Otherwise, the spider looks really good, but that's the only good part of the knife. Otherwise, it's just the default knife. Since I don't have the gun, I will give my opinion on it in a second here. Alright, so I had to go find it on Google. So here's the Traveler's gun. This is the gun in the box. That's the godly gun. My opinion on it is I'm gonna be honest, I don't really entirely love the design of it. I don't know, like, it looks okay, but like, the barrel looks really weird. I don't really like how it looks on the end there. I just don't really like the gun overall this year. It doesn't really look very good. I like the pumpkin on it, and I kind of like the vines crawling over, and I like the wood texture, but I just don't really like the overall design of it. And I think it's mostly just the barrel of the gun isn't really doing it for me, and I just really dislike that. Otherwise, I think it's probably the worst Halloween gun that we've gotten, in my opinion, but I like the pumpkin on it. And now we have an even worse image of the chroma because it's much more rare. I don't think that's probably the reason, but that might be. Anyways, kind of same problem. The barrel just looks really stupid, and the only parts that are chroma are this end part and the pumpkin, which I feel like would look really weird and not great. And I feel like it's definitely the worst chroma that we've ever gotten. I actually haven't seen it in game, but I can only imagine how bad it would look. And yeah. And of course, rating the axe, it looks really good. I like the pumpkin on it. Out of all the knives in the event that might become like the leaderboard prize, I think it would probably be the axe. Though very curious how they will do that because of the amount of design. Whoops, no, I don't want to buy more. But the amount of design on it, like you got all the vines, the pumpkin, the silver, like there's just a lot of colors with it. So I'd be curious to see what the leaderboard trophy is this year, because I feel like it should be this one. But again, I don't know how they can do it. Like, they could make the orange like red or blue. But the thing is, it's got a lot of designs going for it. And that's one of the reasons why I don't know how they will do it. Very curious to see, because if we look at my blue swirl, like if we look at the swirly axe here as an example, it's only got 3 colors on here. You got red, you got like a bronze, and you got a silver. The bronze and the red turned to blue, as you can see. And the silver was left behind, as well as the white. But otherwise, it's mostly the same, and it looks good. So that's one of the reasons why I wonder how they're going to do this one, if it is going to be. The other one is this one, but I don't know how they're going to do this knife, because, again, the Dark Godly set is all black, and I don't know how they will do that. They might make, like, the inside or something red or blue, but I just don't think it would look very good, because it's just all one color. So that's one of the reasons why I don't know how it will do it. And then if we go back to the gun, I don't know how they would do this one as well, because it's not very good looking. And I just don't think it would look very good. Like, you might be able to make like the vines of blue and red, but I feel like the leaderboard players will hate that, because it won't be very like, it won't be as noticeable. And they want it to be noticeable. Like, you want your trophy to stand out there and say,
"Look at me! Here I am! Love me!"
Okay, so now that we're done... Oh, wait, we forgot one thing from the tiers, actually, that I completely forgot about. The pumpkin toy. The pumpkin toy is actually pretty interesting. So you have this pumpkin here. You do that, and it becomes this. And then you can also place it down on the floor. Okay, I guess so. It looks pretty cool. I definitely really like the idea of it. It's really nice. Anyways, now we got to review the lobby. But let's rate the box. I think the box is okay. The tiers are okay. The Godly pack is really good. I definitely think it's the best thing in this entire event is the Godly pack. Though I hate the price of it, but whatever. And whatnot. Okay, so now we got the lobby that we can check out. So we got, Dylan, that his eyes follow you. I already checked all the doors. You can't go in any of them. You got Zyleek, that his eyes also follow you, which is cool. You got pictures of Nick. I don't have a use over there. Of course, as we mentioned, Joven and Dylan and Zyleek. And then we also got a picture of Farmhouse. But what's interesting with this one is if you jump on it here, you see, hang on, boom. You can go up and you get a zombie from last year's event trapped in a cage with a spider web in the corner. And that is all that's in here. Yep. They could have added more, I think, with it, but it's fine how it is. I think a little secret's nice like that. Of course, you got the voting platforms, which is usual. The overall lobby is kind of very similar to how the lobby usually looks, except again, it's a lot like how it's been, is they push it outwards to make more room for a lot more of the Halloween design and props to be put in. You also have the portal here broken again, the portal from 2020, with a flint and steel, kind of hinting for, like, if you know Minecraft, you use the flint and steel to open up the nether portal. It's hinting at that. Will it open to have a part 2? I don't know. It's broken, and like in Minecraft, if there's a block missing from the nether portal, it will not open. So maybe we'll have like a new way to get to it. There is maybe, I'm hearing a lot of rumors that there is part 2. What's going to be in there? No idea, but we'll see. But definitely it's an interesting tease and whatnot. I mean, there is this kind of rock here, and there's a little bit of rubble and whatnot. There's the part that goes there and whatnot. There's also a lot of ghosts on the stick here. They look kind of interesting. You also got some bat decorations on this door here. You got pumpkins everywhere, as well as the maps as well. Got a pitchfork in there. You can look out here. Not much to really see. Fades into black, which is kind of cool because it makes it almost seem like there is more out there when there isn't, but it makes it look like that. And also, too, we are surrounded by hills that, again, they fade into darkness, making it seem like we are completely surrounded. Except on that side, you can see a little gap there. But otherwise, I think it's pretty cool, the event. I like how they're trying to make like some sort of like area surrounding you, like you feel like there's more out there when you know there isn't, but it gives the kind of feeling of that. But we got some coffins on every map, and then we also got some coffins with like a green glow there. Of course, we also got the Traveler this year, which I think looks really, really good. You can also compare him to the Traveler, where is he? There he is, from I think 2018 or something. Oops, right. Wait, is that his full body? I can't remember. It's missing the legs. His legs are in the ground. Okay. So which one's better? Personally, I know a lot of people think this one's better, but I don't know. I just like this one more. I like the design of it more. I just really like this one more, in my opinion. Then you also have Nick as a scarecrow. And I think this is the most unique statue design of Nick because it seems like it's got a lot more detail into it. It's also got his red shirt still. And he's got a hat, his antlers, and his sunglasses there. It still looks really good. But yeah, this is the lobby. It's better than last year's because I think last year's had like way too much going on it. It definitely was probably the most hard put work into the lobby, but I just think this lobby this year is much better than last year's. It's not better than, it's not the best lobby that we've had. I think that one will go to 2020 in my opinion. I think that one's the best one. As well as 2020 is also the best Halloween event that we've ever had because of the part 2. And if this one does have a part 2, this could be literally the best one because a lot of people aren't liking it because there's also coins in the game which are really, really annoying to try to avoid as you're trying to collect candies. And that's one of the reasons why the box is as cheap as it is this year because candies are harder to collect. So I would rate this event like a 6 out of 10, mostly because it might get better. If it doesn't, I'm going to rate it a 5 out of 10. But for now, it's 6 out of 10 because it has potential to become better. The reason why I'm making it only a 6 out of 10 is because mostly the coins, when you're trying to collect candies, is very annoying. One thing that's not making it a 5 out of 10 is because there are props on every map, kind of giving us almost like a revamp of every map, which I guess it is a revamp, but almost like giving us a new Halloween map. That's pretty cool. But I'm going to give this one, actually not even a 6 out of 10, a 5.5 out of 10. But with the part 2, it could become a lot better, and it could save this event for many people, or it could ruin it, and it could be like one of the worst Halloween events that we've ever had. And that would be saying something. Because there wasn't really anything like hugely new that was added other than like literally everything here, like the new item pack. But that's like, these are all like the usual new stuff that we get every year. And there's going to be different skins. And we're used to that. So part 2 might be a whole thing. It probably will be. Nick has been working in the studio. But part 2 could be very interesting. But right now, this event is a 5.5. I still really like the Halloween update, obviously, because it's a, you know, it's cool. You got the night sky, but it's definitely not good compared to a lot of the other ones that we've had before. But again, 5.5, and I do believe that it will get better when part 2 comes out. I do believe that. Anyways, with that, this is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I know it's definitely a lot longer. We'll probably make a review of the event when it's completely done, and hopefully I have pretty much all the items by that point, and I'll give my final ratings on all those items because I like to have them sit in a while and brew and me kind of, you know, begin to grow on them and like them more and whatnot. Anyways, I'm going to end this event or video. Sorry. Bye guys.